Hello, this little video today is going to be on adding and subtracting fractions. We'll do like denominators, unlike denominators, and also mixed numbers. Like denominators are the easiest of the three. With like denominators, remember the denominator is the bottom part of the fraction, and our numerator is our top part of the fraction. So if you had like denominators, it would be something like, these are a few examples of fractions with like denominators. Notice that their denominators are their bottom numbers, and each set are the same number. So these are both 6, these are both 4, these are both 16, these are both 10. When you have like denominators, well, all you need to do is you do the operation to the top numbers. So if I did this one, this one here, 3/4 and 2/4, I'm just adding our top numbers. 3/4 plus 2/4 is going to be equal 5/4, and we know that that's an improper fraction. We know that 4 goes into 5 one time. We're left with 1 left over. So 4 and 1/4 would be your answer. Same with this one. We're going to go top numbers. We're subtracting this time. 12 minus 4 is 8/16. Oop, that's not simplified because they're both even. So we can do our birthday cake method. Take 2 out, 4 and 8. We can take 2 out, 2 and 4. We can take 2 out again, 1 and 2. So our fraction answer is 1/2. On this one, we're just doing the operation at the top. Notice there's a negative number. So we're taking a negative number, 3 plus 6. We know that we're using our integer rules, so we're going to subtract. So we have 3, our highest absolute value is a positive 6, so it's positive tenths. That's perfect. Let's go with this one, doing our top. 5 minus 1 is 4/6. It is not simplified because they're both even. So again, we're doing our birthday cake with 2, because they're both even. 2 and 3, our new fraction is 2/3. So our rules for like denominators. What you're going to do is you're going to add using the top numbers, and you're going to keep the denominator the same, then simplify if needed. The major difference between subtracting with like denominators and unlike denominators is pretty obvious. Unlike denominators, the denominators aren't the same. There are several different approaches that you can take to adding and subtracting with unlike denominators. One approach you can take is when both numbers are pretty close in value. What you can do is you can just multiply each of them times the other denominator. So I'm going to look at this denominator is 4. So I'm going to take this whole fraction times the other denominator, which is 3. So I'm going to go 3/4 times 3 times 3. I'm going to take this denominator times this denominator. So 2/3 times 4 times 4. Our top number over here is going to be 9/12. This is going to be 8/12. Alright, then we have to rewrite our problem. 9/12 minus 8/12. So that's going to equal 1/12. Alright, let's look at this next one. If you remember watching the LCM video, that's where we talked a little bit about using the LCM when we add and subtract fractions. So let's do the LCM where we make our birthday cake. We know that 3 is going to go into each of those because that's sum of 3, and we know 3 goes into that. So 4 and 3, we can't go any farther, so we have to make our L. So 3 times 4 is 12 times 3 is 36. So we know that our new numerator is going to be 36. So I go 9/12 to 9. We know it's going to be 36 for each of them. We just need to figure out how we have to multiply. We know that this one 12 times 3 is 36. So we have to take, again, whatever we do to our denominator, we do to our numerator. So 27. All right, here's the trick with this. If you look at our numbers here, we have a 3, a 4, and a 3. 3 times 3 is 9, right? So we know that we can show this as 9 times 4. So we now know what we take times 9 to get 36 is 4. So we take that both top and bottom. So we have 27 36 plus 8 36. We keep our denominator because we're like denominators now. So that's 5 35. All right, let's do that again. All right, we're going to use our LCM. Our 14, 18, they're both even, so we know 2, 7, 2 goes into 18, 9. Those are prime numbers, so we can't go any farther. We draw our L. 2, we can show this 2 times 7 times 9, which is 14 times 9. So 14 times 9 is 36, 126. Alright, so we know that we want to also, we know one of our numbers is 14. We know our other number is 18, so we can also write 2 times 9 times 7, so that would make our 18 times 7. So now we have both of our numbers in there. So negative 2, 14, we know our number is 126. Top and bottom, to get 14 we took it times 9, so times 9, give me a negative 18 on the top. Our 16, 18, we know it's going to be 126. With 18 we have 7. So we have to take 16 times 7. 42, 7. 12. And then we have a negative 18, 126 minus 112, 126. Alright, we know our bottom is going to be 126. Again, we are only doing our operations to our top. And remember, subtraction is the same as adding the opposite. So we have negative 18 plus a negative 112. So we're really just adding those, right? So that's going to be 3, 130. We know that we're going to have a mixed number in the end because 126 goes into 130 one time. So 130 minus 126. 1 and 4 over 126. Ooh, they're both even. We got a birthday cake that. So 4, 126. It's not going to take as long. It's going to go in there twice. 2 goes into 12 6 times, no remainders. 2 goes into 6 3 times. So our answer is 1 and 2 63rds. Remember, when we have our fraction, we're just looking at this. So basically the rules for adding unlike denominators with small numbers, just multiply each fraction by the other's denominator. So remember, you have to do both the numerator and the denominator by the other denominator, then follow the like denominator rules. For larger numbers, you need to find the LCM. Use the LCM to help you find the factors to multiply each fraction to change to the LCM, like we did before, where we used we moved our multiplication around to make each of the factors to determine that, and then follow like denominator. If all else fails, the small number rule will work in every case. You just have to really watch your multiplication. So if you want to fall back on this one, you sure can, where you're just going to multiply by the other denominators. This one actually is going to do you the most good for larger numbers. But if all else fails, fall back on this one. Now we're moving on to mixed numbers. Remember, mixed numbers are whole numbers with fractions. These are both ones where they have whole numbers and fractions, but you can do a whole number and a mixed number minus just a fraction too. So let's take a look at these and how these are different. When I'm working with mixed numbers, I like to line them up like I would any kind of decimal or any kind of other addition problem. So I'm going to put my whole number here. I'm going to put my fraction over here. I'm going to put my whole number here. I'm going to put my fraction over here. I'm going to put my sign here and my equal line. Alright, are these like or unlike denominators? You're correct, they're unlike denominators. And these two, we know, are factors of each other. We know that we only have to change this top one because we know that 2 goes into 4 twice. So we just need to take this times 2, both top and bottom. So we now have 2/4, and let's just bring this 1/4 over. So now we can add going down. So this is 3/4, and then we add our whole numbers going down. So our answer is 5 3/4. Perfect. Let's look at the next one. Again, we're going to line it up. We're going to put our whole number. We're going to put our fraction. We're going to put our whole number. We're going to put our fraction. We're going to put our line, and we're going to put our symbol. Okay, these are unlike denominators again. 5 and 6. These are small numbers, so we're just going to multiply by the other numerator. Remember that multiplying by the other numerator is the fallback. It's always going to work. So we're going to multiply this top and bottom times 5, this top and bottom times 6. So this is going to be 5/30. This one is going to be 24/30. Oh, wait. We can't do that, can we? We can't have 5 and take 24 from it. This is where it gets tricky. We now need to borrow, just like when we borrow with 100 minus 19, or we have to borrow, make this 9, make this 10 to do it. We have to borrow from this whole number. So we have to borrow 1 from this whole number, make that a 4. A whole group of 30 of something is 30. That's a horrible 30. 30 over 30. So we now have 35 over 30. Let's bring this 24 over 30 over here. Now we can do that. We can take 35 minus 24. That'll be 1. So 11/30. Now we come over here to our whole numbers. So 1 and 11/30. Alright, so the basic rules for adding and subtracting mixed numbers is you need to line up your whole numbers with your whole numbers, your fractions with your fractions. So remember your whole numbers, fractions. Make sure you have like denominators. Borrow if needed. So if you can't subtract your fractions, borrow. Carry if needed. So if you have an improper fraction, make sure you're carrying the whole number over.